I didn't want to go back. I really didn't. Hey guys, welcome back to our silent journey. I want to talk about what it was like coming back after a break. How scared I was of failing again. And how something that started as hope slowly started to feel like defeat. And after everything we had already been through, I just needed a break. So we took one. 6 months. And I really tried to just live my life. Not think about it. Not obsess over it. But it never actually leaves you. It just gets quieter. And then one day, we decided it was time. Walking back into that clinic felt like a lot to carry. The first time, I didn't know what to expect. This time, I knew exactly what this could take from me. They ran everything again. Labs, ultrasounds. And I remember just laying there, waiting for them to say, everything looked okay. And they didn't. They found 3 really big fibroids blocking my left side. I remember I just laid there. Because I'd already done this. So we scheduled another surgery. And this time, it hit me harder. After I woke up, I felt it immediately. I tried to sit up. And I couldn't. Getting dressed felt like too much. I was nauseous, dizzy. I was just exhausted. Recovery wasn't easy this time. It hurt more. It lasted longer. And after all of that, I still had to start again. I waited for my cycle. And then I called the clinic to schedule everything. Like nothing even happened. But this time, it wasn't just me anymore. My husband had to go too. And he was so embarrassed. Like truly uncomfortable. I remember offering to go with him, and he said no immediately. So before his appointment, I got creative. And I made him a recording. Something to help him through it. And I remember walking into the clinic that morning and seeing a woman walking out holding an ultrasound picture. And I just stared at her. And I thought, wow, this actually works. And that's going to be me. They put me back on Clomid. Same routine, same monitoring, and eventually, it was time. The day before I went in for my first IUI, we checked my ultrasound to see what the follicles looked like. And there were 3 very mature follicles, measuring between 21 and 22 millimeters. They told me to trigger that night. My husband went in that next morning and left his sample. And I went in later that afternoon. I remember laying there, trying to stay calm, just telling myself, this could be it. They make you check each vial before insertion. I remember seeing his name, then looking at the iPad, seeing mine, and the same number on each vial. Then she inserted the needle. It was a slight pinch, and I just laid there as she slowly inserted the sample. Afterward, they have you lay there for 10 minutes with your legs up. After those 10 minutes, I got dressed, scheduled my 2-week blood draw, and went home. And then the 2-week wait. But about a week and a half later, started craving the weirdest things I don't normally eat. And I just sat there thinking, oh my God, what if this worked? And my mind just ran with it. Every little feeling suddenly meant something. I kept going back and forth. Should I take a test? Or just wait? Because I thought maybe I could prepare myself. But it doesn't work like that. And when she called me, I could hear it in her voice. It was another negative. And that night, I just lost it. I was screaming, crying, asking God what I did wrong, asking why my body couldn't do this, even when everything looked perfect. And I hate to admit this. This is the moment I started to feel like he'd stopped listening to me. And still, I started again. Waited for my cycle to start. Then I called the clinic. But this time felt different. I didn't feel hopeful anymore. I just felt tired. I went in after taking my 5 days of Clomid. They did an ultrasound of my follicles. I had 2 medium-sized follicles still maturing. So they had me wait until Thursday that week to trigger. And they asked my husband to go in on Friday to leave his sample, so I could go in that afternoon for insemination. I remember doing the trigger shot. Staring at it. Trying to work myself up to do it. But when I pulled the needle to my skin, I pulled away. I had to sit there and talk myself into doing it. And afterwards, I went to work. Just watching the clock, trying to stay busy, but not really being there. When I got to the clinic, I checked in. and I saw a woman crying. And I remember thinking, please don't let that be me. They called me back. I did my second IUI. Same process, same steps. But I wasn't the same. And then the 2-week wait again. But this time, I didn't let myself believe in it. I distracted myself by reading, coloring, playing video games, and going shopping. Anything to not think about it. Because I think deep down, I already knew. Then came my 2-week blood draw. I went in, sat in the chair. And when the needle touched my skin, it hurt worse than before. Like my body was trying to tell me that my period was coming. And when she called me that afternoon, I wasn't surprised. It was negative. And right after that call, my period started. And I remember thinking, I can't keep doing this. I didn't recognize myself anymore. I told myself one more time, just one more. And next week, I'll tell you what happened after that last IUI appointment. Thank you so much for being here and for listening. I'll talk to you guys next week.